What if the limit on AI isn't intelligence, but resources? Hosts Kyle and Savannah, The Perspective Shift.
Welcome back to Kyle and Savannah, Perspective Shift. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Savannah.
Today we're asking a question that almost nobody seems to be talking about. For years, we've been asking how smart artificial intelligence can become. Can it write better? Can it think faster? Can it replace jobs? Can it solve problems humans can't? But maybe we're asking the wrong question.
What if the limit on AI isn't intelligence at all? What if the limit is resources?
Segment 1. The AI Gold Rush.
We're living through what many people are calling an AI gold rush. Every major technology company is racing to build bigger models, bigger data centers, and bigger computing systems. Billions of dollars are being invested. New facilities are being built across the country. Power demands are increasing. And everyone seems to assume the future is simply more AI, more computing, more growth, more intelligence.
And on the surface, that sounds reasonable. After all, we've seen incredible progress over the last few years. AI can write essays, generate images, create videos, analyze data, assist programmers, and answer questions in seconds. But here's the question. What does it actually take to keep all of this running?
Segment 2. The Invisible Factory.
I think many people imagine AI as something floating in the cloud, a magical digital brain living somewhere on the internet. But the reality is much different. AI isn't floating anywhere. It's sitting inside massive buildings filled with servers, buildings that consume enormous amounts of electricity, buildings that require cooling systems 24 hours a day, buildings that need land, construction materials, networking equipment, maintenance crews, and constant upgrades.
The cloud isn't a cloud, it's a factory, and every factory requires resources: electricity, water, steel, copper, concrete, computer chips, human labor, and unlike software, those resources aren't infinite.
Segment 3. The Resource Question.
Here's where things get interesting. The conversation around AI usually focuses on intelligence. Can AI become smarter? Can it outperform humans? Can it achieve something close to artificial general intelligence? But maybe the more important question is this: can society continue supplying the resources necessary to support that growth?
Think about it. Every new generation of AI seems to require larger investments, more computing power, more infrastructure, more energy, more cooling, more specialized hardware. At some point, you have to ask whether we're approaching a resource wall, not an intelligence wall, a resource wall.
Segment 4. Diminishing Returns.
There's another issue that doesn't get discussed enough. Diminishing returns. The first major advances in AI felt revolutionary. The jump from basic chatbots to modern AI systems was obvious. Everyone noticed. But what happens when the next improvement costs 10 times more resources and delivers only a modest improvement? What happens when the investment curve rises faster than the benefit curve?
That's a question businesses, investors, governments, and communities will eventually have to answer. Not whether AI is useful. Clearly it is. The question is whether each additional step forward justifies the resources required to get there.
Segment 5. History Lessons.
Now, history gives us an important warning. People have underestimated infrastructure before. Railroads, electricity, automobiles, the internet, all of them looked expensive. All of them required massive investment. And all of them eventually transformed society. So we should be careful not to assume that today's costs automatically mean tomorrow's failure.
At the same time, history also teaches us that growth isn't unlimited. Every technological revolution eventually runs into constraints. Resources matter, infrastructure matters, economics matter. The question isn't whether AI is impressive. The question is whether the supporting system can continue expanding at the pace we've become accustomed to.
Segment 6. The perspective shift.
Maybe the biggest perspective shift is this. For years, we've treated intelligence as the scarce resource. We assumed smarter machines would be the difficult part. Maybe we got that backwards. Maybe intelligence is becoming easier to create than the infrastructure needed to support it.
Maybe the future isn't determined by software alone. Maybe it's determined by power grids, supply chains, energy production, construction, water systems, and the countless people working behind the scenes to keep everything running.
So here's our question for you. What if the limit on AI isn't intelligence, but resources? Have we entered an era where the biggest challenge isn't making AI smarter? Or are we simply witnessing the growing pains of a technology that's still in its infancy?
And if resources do become the bottleneck, what happens next? Do we build more infrastructure? Do we find more efficient technology? Or do we discover that every revolution eventually meets its limits?
That's the perspective shift. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Savannah.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Reflection for everyone. Do you believe AI's biggest challenge over the next decade will be intelligence, or will it be resources such as energy, infrastructure, materials, and labor?